Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our NATS-LA Fall Symposium. My name is Wendy Pylko, and this year I have the honor of serving as Vice President, Programs Chair. This is the first program of the year, and as we were planning this event late last summer, out of an abundance of caution, we decided to meet on Zoom, and as with many aspects of this terrible tragic pandemic that has plagued us for so long now, there are some silver linings, one of which is that through Zoom, though it's not always ideal, we are able to communicate and work with people all over the world. So today, thanks to help from our colleague Daryl Taylor, we have the great pleasure of welcoming our amazing guest artist, Mr. George Shirley. With a distinguished international career spanning more than 50 years, Mr. Shirley is well known and beloved as a performer around the world and a great teacher and mentor who has taught so many, including some who are here with us today. I've published his amazing bio in our program, which I sent to all of you. I hope you were able to open that attachment. And rather than listen to me talk, I'm sure you'd like to just get our class started. Will you all do me a favor and keep your sound settings on mute, and you may have your camera either on or off. If you have questions for Mr. Shirley, please type them into the chat, and if there is time, we'll do our best to get to them. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Mr. George Shirley.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure to be here. I'm looking forward to hearing all of you sing. It's wonderful to see some people I know, Professor Bolden Taylor, whom I haven't seen for a long time. Great to see you. So without further wind flowing from me, let's hear some beautiful wind flowing from these young singers.
Yes. Okay, Jem, you are first up. Are you ready?
Oh, good morning, everybody. Thank you for this opportunity.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Jem Acabal. I will perform Elfenlied by Hugo Wolf. Bei Nacht in der Elfe, ein ganz kleines Häppchen im Wald steht, und bei des Regen aus dem Tal, bei seinem Namen die Nacht egal, oder sie verlettet im Gerufen, reibt sich die Elfe Augen aus, begibt sich vor sein Schneckenhaus, und ist wie trunken Mann, sein Schläflein war nicht vorgetan, trampelt also tippetapp, durchs Hase tot in Tal hinab, schlaf an der Mauer hin so dick, da sitzt der Glover Licht an Licht. Was sind das helle Fensterlein, da drin wird eine Hochzeit sein, die Kleinen sitzen beim Malen und treiben sie in dem Saale. Da guck ich wohl ein wenig nein. Weh, stößt den Kopf an harten Stein. Elfe, geht, du hast genug, guck. Elfe, geht, du hast genug, guck. Thank you.
All right, let's go back. There are a couple of things that I want to point out just in terms of the music itself. The accuracy of intonation on all of the pitches. Sometimes I'm not really sure that you are nailing the center of every pitch that you sing. Some of the passages go quickly, right? So we want to make sure that we nail every pitch in its tonal center. So let's go back to the beginning and let's see what happens. I'll jump in on occasion, all right?
Sure, with piano.
First of all, a lovely voice, really lovely voice, really
Thank you so
beautiful.
much.
So with that talent, we want to make sure that all of the musical values are nailed solid, right on. So beginning of the piece.
All right, with piano in the background.
Oh, yes, please.
Perfect.
I forget that the pianist is not there. Okay.
Yeah. Bei Nacht hinter der Weg der Äpfel. Ein ganz kleines Häppchen im Wader schläft, wo du Äpfel.
Okay, very good, very good. Be careful that you don't make a quarter note out of the word schlief. It's an eighth note. And this is very important. I mean, if you were working, say, with a conductor, and you sang an eighth note like a quarter note, they would jump down your throat. There's a reason why it's an eighth note. There's a dramatic reason why it's an eighth note. But if you elongate it, Walderschlief, no, Walderschlief. So observe those observe the rhythmic values as well as the pitches. Once more from the beginning, please.
Bei Nacht hinter der Weg der Äpfel. Ein ganz kleines Häppchen im Wader schläft, wo du Äpfel. Und meines rief ihm aus dem Tal bei
Okay, can I stop you?
Yeah.
Now we have a D natural right there, and it sounded not quite D natural. Sing the D natural for me. Und, if you can. Okay, so can you start? Can you start that section, the Mäßig section? Bing, bang. Can you find that on your tape?
Yes, I could try to.
Yeah, give it a try.
Und beides rief ihm aus dem Tal.
Okay, still sounds a little bit under. Somewhere in the vicinity, but we need to really nail it right on the pitch. So can you just sing und? And it could be because of the vowel. Und. Just sing und for me, please.
Und
Aye, that's quite different than what I heard, okay? Did that feel any different?
felt much different. I first learned this song in a different key, so it gets.
Oh, that's very interesting. Because if you have learned something in a different key, your voice is going to want to sing it in that key until you have sung it enough in the new key to reprogram your inner tape, as it were. So let's just sing the und again for me.
Okay.
Once more from the, can you start the tape?
Yes. Und beides rief ihm aus dem Tal bei seinem Namen die Nachtigall.
Okay, that's better. Can you do, I'm going to give you an old Robert Shaw thing. Shaw was a great choral conductor, and he would have singers do doot 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 doot, making sure that every doot was right in the center of the pitch, and it really makes you think those pitches. So can you doot those pitches, please? Starting doot doot doot. Okay. So from the G flat
Yes.
to the B double flat. Can you do that, please? Do. Is that right?
Which word?
So the words are dem tal.
Oh. I think.
I'm not hearing the B double flat. Right. Right. Okay. So the next pitch. Okay. So make sure those are really clean. Now sing it with the words, please. With the piano.
Okay. Und weit ist rief ihm aus dem Tal bei seinem Namen die Nachtigall.
Okay. Namen. Sing Namen die Nachtigall. Starting on the D flat.
Namen die Nachtigall.
So sing Nachti, E flat to F. Namen die
Namen die Nachtigall.
Yeah, so the F sometimes goes a little out of where it should go. Do you ever use solfege when you're working on things?
Yes, a lot.
Can you solfege that?
Yeah. Is it okay if I look at the music?
Yes.
Okay. From
So you have whole steps, right? D flat, E flat, F. Right?
Namen die Nachtigall.
Namen die nam ba 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 ba. You sure that D flat to E flat is right? It's a whole step, right? Namen die, right?
Namen die Nachtigall.
Okay, make sure the D doesn't go too high. Namen die.
Namen die.
No, you're going. The same pitch, right? Namen die, all the same pitch. Try it.
Namen die Nachtigall.
I'm hearing D flat, D natural, D flat, D natural, D flat, D, E flat, dum bum. Right? Am I wrong?
You were right.
So once more, D flat to E flat.
Namen die
That sounds like a half step to me. Namen,
Namen die
namen die na, bum 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 bum. Once more.
Namen die
And the next pitch.
Namen die Nachtigall.
Not quite. Nam bum bum, namen die Nachti. That was better. Once more.
Namen die Nachtigall.
Okay, that sounds better. T. What's gal? A flat.
T, yes. T, D.
Sing-
Gal.
Sing T gal. T gal. T.
Oh. Gal.
Yep. T gal. Right.
Gal.
So B. The D flat again.
Gal.
So these are places like this you have to really be meticulous about singing the pitches accurately. So again, you have a lovely voice, but you have to zero in. Don't take things for granted. When you worked on this, can you play the piano?
Yes.
Okay. Did you play it through so that you could get the feeling of the pitches and the intervals in your hand?
The first time, yes, I should revisit the piano.
Yes, definitely. Get it into your hand if you can play the piano. And that then you can, it will read to your mind and your throat when you sing it, right? And this piece is full of all these little half steps and changes.
Yeah.
And with that lovely voice, you want to make sure that you are dead on target when it comes to the pitches, right? So go back, please, to "Und meint es rief ihm aus dem Tal." And let's see if we can get a little closer to what it is. Just do it on la la la, D natural. Okay. Sing it and play it at the same time. Sing it and play it at the same time.
The piano?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. With the words. Und meint, right?
Und meint es rief ihm aus dem Tal bei seinem Namen den Nachtigall.
Okay. So work that section that way until there's no way you could sing it any other way but correctly. Now, we haven't got a lot of time left, but I want to spend a little time with the German. The German is good. It can be much more distinct. So let me hear you speak the text in rhythm.
From the top?
Yes.
Okay. Bei Nacht im Dorf der Wächter rief Elfe. Ein ganz
Okay.
kleines...
Well, you have two R's, Wächterrief. I think you can roll that a little bit. Wächterrief. Once more.
Wächter rief.
Yeah, once more.
Bei Nacht im Dorf der Wächter rief Elfe. Ein ganz kleines Elfen im Walde schlief, wohl die Elfe. Und meint, es rief ihm aus die...
Good. Now, can you spit the final consonants a little bit more? Es meint, es rief. Take a little time. Es meint, es rief. Right there.
Und meint, es rief ihm aus dem Tal, bei seinem Namen die Nachtigall.
Okay.
Oder
Good.
Yeah,
Good. Very good.
thank you.
One of the things that I'll probably spend a lot of time with today is on the text and making sure that you sing the words rather than syllables. Making sure that when you sing the word, you elongate and stress the stressed syllables. Otherwise, things can come out. I mean, for instance, here it's written, the way it's written, and composers do this all the time, they write against the proper pronunciation of the word. So, Nachtigall, 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 no, Nachtigall, I need to hear the Nacht as well, Nachtigall, right? So Nacht is a bit more important than Gal, Gal is important. Nachtigall, right? And words like seinem, lean on the sei, not Tal bei seinem Namen, lean on the stressed syllables. Take that phrase that we've been working on and just sing that. Go back to the D natural. Und meint es rief ihm, okay, right there, and lean on the stressed syllables. I didn't understand es rief. I heard und meine rief.
Okay.
Okay, we have just a couple more minutes.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Und meint ist rief ihm aus dem Tal bei
Okay.
seinem...
Better. Now be careful. You don't say und meint es. Tess. No, Tess is not a German word. Und meint es rief. Reattack the word that begins with a. Und meint es rief. Okay, once more.
Und meint es rief ihm aus dem Tal bei seinem Namen, die Nachtigall.
Okay.
Oh, ja.
Okay, so I got a good S this time, but I didn't get the end of the word meint.
Meint,
Now,
okay.
the Germans have a thing about being clear, deutlich. They want that text to be clear. So that means really paying more attention to things like final consonants or consonants wherever they are, as well as those special sounds. Und meint, es rief ihm aus dem Tal. So it gets to the German ear with clarity. Okay, I guess we are at our time, but again, a beautiful voice, a lovely quality. Just spend more time making sure that pitches are correct and that the language, as the late Robert Merrill said when someone asked him, Bob, what do you think of when you sing? What? Bob said, I just try to sing the words. So sing the words, right? Not the
I'll
syllables.
sing the words. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. Lovely.
Thank you so much.
So much joy, Shirley.
Okay, and next we have Leeza. Leeza, are you there?
I am, yes. Hello. Okay. Hello, my name is Leeza York, and today I will be singing Feet, O Jesus by Florence Price and text by Langston Hughes. At the feet, O Jesus, at the feet, O Jesus, at the feet, O Jesus, sorrow like a sea. Lord, let your mercy come a-drifting down on me, drifting down on me, drifting down on me. Oh, Lord, let your mercy come a-drifting down, come a-drifting down on me. At the feet, O Jesus, at the feet, O Jesus, at the feet, O Jesus, at your feet I stand. Oh, my little Jesus, please reach out your hand. Please reach out your hand. Please reach out your hand. Oh, my little Jesus, please reach out your hand. Please reach out your hand.
Okay. Lovely. Again, beautiful voice, rich, full, vibrant. Let's go back to beginning. A couple things.
Okay.
I'm trying to get this thing to work properly so I can see. Okay. when you get to the O on, I think it's a G, yeah, O, G sharp, it tends to be a little bit under the pitch.
Okay.
So it wants a little bit more assistance from the center of your body, from your support, right? So do me a favor and just take that G sharp and do a slide on it. Oh, and feel what happens when you go to the top. Put your finger on your epigastrum. You know where that is?
I do not.
Okay. The top of your belly,
Okay.
behind which, where your ribs come together, right? Right in that little place that sort of caves in. In back of that is where your diaphragm is attached, and you will feel a strengthening of that place as you slide up. And do this. Moan up to it. Oh! And see what happens in the center of your body.
Okay. I will say, Mr. Shirley, that it is a whole step down.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So it's
It's in D major.
okay. So moan up to whatever it is.
Okay.
Okay. Does that feel any different?
I guess it really wasn't focused on the moan aspect. Would you mind if I do that again?
I wouldn't mind at all. Go right ahead. What does it feel like?
Definitely better preparation. I felt the pitch itself was much more centered.
Mm-hmm.
I think it had more of an anchor to it than maybe the first time that I sang it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that, as a result, it was more in tune. It was boom. So often said that, when we were babies, we did something that was very natural when we wanted to gain attention. And when you were born, you made a sound that was heard all over the hospital, right? And if ever you have watched an infant when it's crying, you see a response from the torso on down, right? So we have to get in touch with it. I call it the magic button. People say sing from the diaphragm. Well, you can't sing from the diaphragm. There's no mouth down there, but you can sing with a connection to that mentally and physically that produces a natural response from your torso to help your larynx to do what you want it to do. And moaning is one of the best ways I know of how to make that happen naturally, but then to incorporate that. Whatever it happens to be, right? So do that a couple of times. Just slide up and down, moan it. Okay, what does it feel like? Do you feel a connection to that place?
I do, and sort of like a vertical line, more like, not just with that place, but a vertical line up and down.
Yeah. So this piece, I can tell that this person who's saying this is saying, "Oh Lord," it's a moan.
Yeah.
So try to incorporate that in singing this. So can you go back a little bit and approach that? And then when you get there, moan it and see what happens. Be aware of the feeling of what happens in your body.
Absolutely. Okay.
Okay, can I stop you for a minute? Can I stop you for a minute? Try not to lean over and pull your head to one side, which then extends these muscles and squeezes these muscles.
Okay.
You want to be erect. so that the muscular structure is not out of balance. And I'm not saying be stiff. That has nothing to do with being stiff, but it's being erect so that when you release your jaw, it's not going to cramp your larynx. And you're not going to be, at the feet. I mean, just once more.
At the feet of Jesus, at the feet of Jesus, at the feet of Jesus, at your feet I stand. Lord, let your mercy.
Okay, now can I stop you? Can I stop you right there?
Yeah.
Moan that. It's the same pitch, right?
Yeah.
What are the words? The words are.
Let your mercy
Okay.
drifting down on me.
Okay. Moan that. I think let. I'm trying to get the music to show. Yeah. Right. Try that right there, please. No. Here again, your head goes, and you're not aware of it. Your head goes,
I'm not aware.
and that pulls everything out of line.
Okay.
Put your eyes on the bottom of the balcony. And do this on ooh, ooh, oh, do it on O. How did that feel? How did that feel? What was the sensation of that from here to your torso?
Well, for one, I had more breath to do the entire line.
Yeah.
And it did, as I said, the same sensation with the moan is more in line, more vertical.
Yes. Want to do it again? Now this time I want you to do it on the vowels. Do it on the vowels. Leave the consonants out. And I want you to pretend as though you can breathe into your lower back. Now, you can't do that any more than you can sing from your diaphragm. But it's interesting that one's imagination triggers a response from the body that can be very helpful here. If I breathe through my nose and I feel as though my lower back fills up below my hips and my back, the lower back below my belt line gets wider, I can feel a couple things happen. I can feel my ears pop like they do when I'm getting ready to yawn. And my neck seems to widen just by how I breathe in. And when I feel that stretch in the back, it gives me a column to function with. Whoever it happens to be, right? So this I want you to do on the vowels. But make sure you do not bow your head when you breathe or when you go up, lower your head. That's the one thing you don't want to do because, again, if you release your jaw, you're gonna limit your larynx. And you don't want to hold your larynx down. You want it to be free to float where it's supposed to float. So the eyes on the balcony, breathe in, and when you feel your lower back stretch, and go, okay? Okay, how did that feel physically?
Physically, it felt great. I mean, I felt expansion in ways I didn't feel before. And I felt that it definitely released maybe tension that I was holding within my neck and shoulders.
So by breathing, by the way we breathe, we can set things up. Our neck, this whole area, because when you feel your ears pop, what does that mean when your ears pop, when you're getting ready to yawn? And when you just, what does that mean when they pop?
I guess, well, of course, it's differentiating pressure as well.
Well,
but also just sort of
It,
release of the
it
jaw.
means that your velum has lifted. Your velum has stretched. In other words, you have raised your soft palate without trying to raise your soft palate. Just by breathing. Oh! I mean, it's all there by the way I breathed in and felt the result of it settling into below my hips on either side. That's my sensation. You got to find your own. But I like the sound of that vowel that you sang, and it was absolutely in tune and on top of it. So I see I'm running out of time. Can I have just one more minute? Okay?
Absolutely. Yes.
Now, I want you to breathe in the way you did and sing the words for that. Oh, what happens, whatever the word happens to be right there. Okay?
Oh my lordy.
Uh, oh yeah, it's when you went up. Yeah, right, that one. Yeah. So take the time to repair the breath until you feel as though your lower back has expanded without you trying to physically do it, because if you try to physically do it, you'll louse it up.
Drifting down on me, drifting down on me, drifting down on me. Oh, Lord, let your mercy come a drifting down, come a drifting down on me.
That was quite, from my ear, quite different. It was the head register and the chest register were not fighting, they were cooperating.
Yeah.
And the way you breathed in set it up. And what you felt and then maintained without trying to, here again, don't try to physically manipulate. Do it as naturally as you possibly can. You'll feel the response and your throat will say, thank you very much. And I thank you very much for, that was gorgeous. That was absolutely gorgeous. Bravo.
It's an honor. Thank you.
All right, next we have Jared.
Hello,
Oh,
my name is Jared Whiston, and I will be performing Nanny by Ernest Chausson. In this piece, my lover Nanny has died, and I'm asking the nature and the world around me to share my pain and weep with me.
Toi, chers oramiers, pleurez doux feuillage. Et toi, source vive, et vous, frais sentiers, pleurez ô bruyères sauvages, puissants de haut et d'églantiers, printemps, roi fleuri de la verte année. Ô jeune Dieu, pleure, et tes mûrissants coupe ta tresse couronnée, et pleure automne rougissant l'angoisse d'aimer, brise en cœur fidèle. Terre et ciel pleurez, oh que je l'aimais.
parle plus d'elle. Nanny ne reviendra jamais.
Bravo. Lovely voice. Strong. Excellent. 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 Very good. And good French. I would like for you to maybe start this a little bit more piano than you did, you know. Your voiceover, boy.
Yeah.
What is the situation you find yourself in as, again, you mentioned it. So where do you see yourself as this character at this moment?
I see myself in a forest and I'm looking at the nature around me, places that reminded me of my lover and maybe things that we did. And I'm seeing these beautiful places that I once experienced a lot of joy, and I'm now wanting this beautiful nature to share my pain with me.
Right. So Chausson asks for the first part to be quieter. And then it gets louder. Et toi, sur ce vive. So it builds to forte. But the first one starts piano and gets quieter. Bois cher au ramier, pleurer du feuillage. So see if you can find the emotion inside of you that makes that kind of thing happen naturally. So can we go back to the beginning?
Yeah.
Take your time. Breathe in your emotion before you start. Okay? You let your breath prepare you for what it is that you want to share with us.
Okay. Toi, chers ramiers, pleurez du feuillage.
Okay, good. Take a moment. Don't hold the ramier longer than it is. Ramier off. Don't hold it longer, right? There's a reason why it stopped. Ramier. But Ramier doesn't give us what Chausson asks for at this moment.
Okay.
How much more warmth can you bring to this first part? I mean, you have a very strong voice, and that's great. I'm not asking you. But in this moment, the contrast, I think, with what's coming can be made more meaningful to us. So almost, I don't want you to come off of your voice. I want everything you sing to be connected to your support system, but almost not that, but and then the rest of it can grow. Once more.
Toi, chers ramiers, pleurez du feuillage.
Okay, better? Good. Now, the pleurer came out stronger, but that, according to what Chausson indicates, that's the quietest.
Okay.
Because the end of the decrescendo is at this point. Oops. That makes it go around the other way around, right? So one more time. Take your time.
chers oramiers, pleurez tout feuillage. Et toi, source vive, et vous, frais sentiers, pleurez, ô bruyère sauvage, puissant de haut et d'éclantier, printemps rafleuri de la verte année. Ô jeune Dieu, pleure, et tes mûrissants coupe ta tresse couronnée, et pleure automne rougissant, l'angoisse d'aimer, brise un cœur fidèle, terre et ciel pleurez. Oh, que je l'aimais, cher pays, ne parle plus d'elle, Nanny ne reviendra jamais.
Okay, very good. I think you can even play around more with those contrasts in quiet and the growth in enthusiasm or pain or whatever it happens to be that makes automatically for more sound, always attached to your solar plexus, always attached to that place where we feel things, where all the nerve endings come together, right in back of where the diaphragm is attached, interestingly enough, right? So that place is a place that we want to be, that's an avenue we want to be traveling whenever we perform. And piano doesn't mean, hey, but it means, oh, it's got to be attached to that place for it to mean something to the listener. An excellent voice, wonderful. Just, I would suggest to you, make more use of what I know you can do. And you can give us a melting pianissimo without it coming unstuck. That is so important. I hear it in your voice. You have that. So that when the loud comes, it makes much more impact on the audience. I just want to go back one more time to the beginning.
Okay.
And I hesitate to say whisper. I don't want you to become unstuck. I'm going to ask you to do what I asked the other young lady to do. I want you to breathe into your, imagine you've got two goblets beneath each hip. And I want you to imagine as though you are breathing into those goblets until they are full. And I want you to feel what happens up here. And then just go with that feeling of fullness below your belt, but not in terms of volume, in terms of whatever it happens to be, all right? Just try that as an exercise.
Chers oramiers, pleurez tout feuillage. Et toi, source vive, sauvage, puissant de haut, et églantier, printemps, roi fleuri de la verte année. Ô jeune Dieu, l'aide et témérissant, coupe ta tresse couronnée, et pleure automne rougissant, l'angoisse d'aimer, brise en gare fidèle, terre et ciel pleurer. Oh, que je l'aimais. Cher pays, ne parle plus d'elle, Nanny ne reviendra jamais.
For me, that had more beauty, more warmth, more. I want to go to the place where you sing the old, say, and I want you to do, again, imagine as though you can breathe into each hip, below each hip, which you can't do, but use your imagination. And I want to hear what happens with that O.
Okay.
So sing the phrase just before it so you go into it. You haven't got a whole lot of time to prepare, but force yourself to breathe into your hips.
Okay.
I'm liable to be shot because people are going to say, what is he talking about? But use your imagination. It just opens up everything without you trying to open up everything, okay? So sing into that area,
Okay, I'll start from the Terre ciel.
okay?
Terre ciel pleurer. Oh, que je l'aimais.
Okay, did that feel any different? Say you know if it didn't.
It felt a little bit different. I was trying to be mindful of staying loose up here. And it worked for a split second, but then I kind of tensed up.
So let's go back and do it again. And this time, just the interesting thing is, if you master that way of breathing, it will loosen this whole area, and you won't have to try to stay loose. It will, the breath, how you take the breath in, if you feel that back expand below your belt line, this will be loose. You'll feel your ears pop, which means your soft palate has stretched. And your throat is open without you trying to open your throat. Try it again.
Okay. Terre ciel pleurer. Oh, que je l'aimais.
So, what did you feel then?
I can feel what it's trying to do, or like what it wants to do. I can feel the engagement right here, and I can feeling it like trying to hold on. It's just kind of hard to hold on to that.
Okay, don't try to hold on to it. Want it. And what I heard right now, what I heard you do, didn't sound like there was any constriction, any tension that shouldn't have been there. It sounded like it was free and quite beautiful. So go for it one more time.
Okay.
And don't try to hold anything. Want it, but don't try to physically hold. Years ago, the great tenor Caruso was quoted in the magazine Etude. People were asking him, how do you sing those wonderful high notes? And Caruso said, I make a movement like I make when I'm sitting on the potty. And in subsequent reprints of that article, that was taken out. Ellipse. Why was it taken out? Because people misunderstood what he was talking about. People started going, oh, no, that's not what it's about. But when one master is taking that breath in that way, there is a feeling back there around the tip of your spine, but to the lower quarter of your spine, that those muscles come together while there's this width that enables things to happen at the top that are comfortable, that feel like, oh, no big deal. So finding that, knowing that you don't want to try to physically do it, but let the breath do it. Whatever it happens to be, okay? So try it again, because I heard the right thing happen this time.
Okay.
The one just before it was better. You were able to hold it. I didn't hear towards the end that sort of happened. So again, not holding anything, but wanting it so that there is continual movement, continual life being. One more time, and then I see we will have to stop.
Okay.
So there's an exercise I would suggest that you do. Breathe in through your nose until you feel that stretch. Oh, 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 oh. And work that over and over again, being aware of what you feel in your lower back. Knowing that there's no lungs down there, you can't breathe in there, but what you're doing is breathing deeply enough to engage the muscles around the course of your ribs and all of that to help you to anchor what it is you want to do at the top. So try it again. Just do that. Oh, 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 oh.
Oh, 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 oh.
Tell me about that one.
I could feel like the sniff, like, put my support in the position it felt like it needed to be in, and the top note felt a little bit more free.
Yeah, it sounded quite free, quite round. Didn't sound like it was going to close up on you. So I would suggest doing things like that, doing things like slides, moaning, so you feel the space in the back open up, but you also feel a connection to the nasal pharyngeal area that brings the sound this way. So you have like a fan thing going on, back and front. They cooperate this way, but not all this way, not all that way. But this is the sensation that will happen when the throat is properly open and the nasal pharyngeal area is properly engaged and resonating without you trying to put your voice in your nose.
Okay.
Very, very good. Very good. Wonderful, wonderful, lovely sound. Lovely sound. Bravo, bravo.
Now we have Zhou.
Hello everyone, this is Yi. I will be singing Frühlingsglaube. It is a poem about spring, and it is composed by Franz Schubert.
Okay.
Thank you.
Lovely, lovely. Wonderful, fresh sounding, clear voice. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's work on a bit clearer pronunciation of the words. Sometimes things get a little run together and can be a bit more crisp. So let me hear you say the first sentence from Die Linden to Enden.
Okay. Die Lindenlüfte sind erwacht.
Okay, once more. Die Linden, now make sure you lean on die Lindenlüfte, Lüfte, a little bit longer. Die Lindenlüfte sind erwacht.
Die Lindenlüfte sind erwacht.
That's right. That's clear. One more time.
Die Lindenlüfte, sorry.
Don't apologize. You do not need to apologize when you're working out things. There's no need to.
Okay.
So, once more.
Die Lindenlüfte sind erwacht.
Good. Sing the first phrase just that way, just by yourself.
Die Lindenlüfte sind erwacht.
I heard sind erwacht. What do I need to hear? Sind erwacht. Reattack every word that begins with a vowel. Sind erwacht. And wacht gets the stress, which is written properly here. Good. Lean on Linden. Lean on Lin and Lüf. Die Lindenlüfte sind erwacht. Once more.
Die Lindenlüfte sind erwacht.
Now here, sind er. Sind er. Just sing that for me.
Sind erwacht.
Finish the word sind erwacht.
Sind erwacht.
Okay, I'm still getting a bit of terwacht. And this is one of the difficult things that we non-German speakers need to work on. Sind not sind erwacht. Try it.
Sind erwacht.
That's better. Sind erwacht.
Sind erwacht.
You take a little bit more time between the ending of the word sind, erwacht.
Sind erwacht.
That's better. That will make it cleaner. So you say, well, I've got to be in rhythm. I got to stay in rhythm. How am I going to do that? Practice. That's all I can tell you. Practice. Sind and reattack the air with a good air, not sind Sind erwacht. Once more.
Sind erwacht.
Say sing erwacht for me.
Erwacht.
Sing it.
Erwacht.
No, just erwacht.
Erwacht.
Can you make the air a little bit more air, not air, but erwacht.
Erwacht.
Okay. Once more. Air, like the English word air. The air is pure.
Erwacht.
Now, put your finger next to that third button on your dress, which is right in the center. That's about where the magic button is. That is where you want to feel things. Now, say for me, air, air, air. So you feel a reaction in back of your finger.
Air.
No, don't sing it. Just say it. Air, air, air.
Air. Air.
Do you feel anything behind your finger?
Air. Some push.
Yes, some push. Right. Air. Say it again.
Air.
Now, erwacht.
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 Yes. Again.
Erwacht.
Sind erwacht.
Sind
No, they didn't push.
erwacht.
Ah, jawohl. Once more.
Sind erwacht.
That's what I'm talking about. So it's not a matter of hitting something with our throats. It's a matter of learning how to allow that place where the diaphragm is attached to do it for us without trying to physically do it, but do it in terms of our imagination so that there is a response down there. Erwacht. I'm not pushing my stomach out. But what happens when I speak with authority, erwacht, it supports what I'm doing. Sind erwacht. Once more. Sind.
Sind erwacht.
Yeah. Now make sure that when you sing the wacht, it doesn't sound like a different word. The word is erwacht. Sind erwacht.
Sind
No, you didn't reattack the air.
Sind erwacht.
Still not quite as good as it was when you just sang air. Once more.
Erwacht.
Erwacht. Erwacht.
Erwacht.
That's the word. Again.
Erwacht.
Now, sind erwacht.
Sind erwacht.
Better. Again, please.
Sind erwacht.
So, places like that, we need to work over and over again because your language, my language, we don't speak that way. The Germans want that clarity of diction, and it is attached from your mind to that place that allows us to speak with authority. If I say, hello, how are you? There is a response down there by that button. If I say, hello, how are you? I don't get that response. They both ways of saying it are valid depending on what I'm trying to express. Hello, how are you? Yes, well, I'm going downtown today. Hello, how are you? Well, yes, I'm going downtown today. Simply by being more aggressively attached to this place in the center of our bodies. So, let's go back to Die linden Lüfte sind erwacht. Sing it, please.
Oh, okay. Fine.
That's it. Better. I need Lin, Lüf, sind, er. Those are the places that you need to lean on, right? Once more. Better. Can you double the L's of Linden and Lüfte? Die Linden Lüfte. Okay, that's better. I don't hear the end of the word Linden Lüfte. If you make the end of Linden, your tongue is already in position to say the Lüfte. Die Linden Lüfte. And it helps the clarity of the words and the legato. Once more. Much better. Now, I have one other request. Give me a better F. Linden Lüfte. That's the idea. Lüfte, Lüfte, Lüfte. Okay, let's go to the next phrase. Sie säuseln, say those words for me.
Sie säuseln und wehen Tag und Nacht.
Quite good. Give me more of the in at the end of Säuseln und.
Sie sollen, sorry,
No, don't apologize. Well, you don't need to apologize.
sie säusen und wehen.
Okay, now the second part, Zeln, 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 Zeln,
Seln,
Zeln, Säuseln.
säusen und
No, you're saying Säusen, Säuseln. There's an L in there that I need to hear.
säusen,
Yes, again.
säusen,
Okay, now, Säuseln und.
säusen und.
Perfect. That's the taste of that word and the other word. Säuseln und. Say it again.
Säuseln, sorry, säuseln und.
Yeah, you need to say Zeln, 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 Zeln until you get the taste of it. Repeat. Zeln, 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 Zeln.
Seln, seln.
Right, do it again. Do it again.
Sie säuseln und wehen. Tag
Yes, ma'am, that was perfect. That was perfect. So it's really important that we spend the time with words that are foreign to us, to master the taste of those words. Because if we want to sing that language to people who speak it and have them respect us for doing so, we have to master the taste of their language. And for instance, if I were to sing in your language, I would have to spend a lot of time, right, tasting that language so that you could understand what I was saying. So you need to spend more time tasting this language. You've got the voice for it. It's a wonderful instrument, strong, lovely sound, but master the taste of all of the languages in which you sing. And that will ensure that your chance for an international career will be, whoa, right? So spend more time with the language. Don't take anything. When you study the language, when you study this, do you record yourself saying it or singing it?
I recorded my singing, not saying.
So record your singing as well. Whenever you practice, and I say this to everyone, whenever you practice by yourself, turn on your recorder. That will tell you whether you have done what you thought you did. Otherwise, you won't know until somebody says, no, that's not right. So you don't want to get to that point. You want to have it well learned whenever you sing it for anyone. Again, wonderful voice, a lovely, lovely quality. And I look forward to hearing you sing again. All right. Thank you. Bravo. Bravo.
Now next we have Axel.
Hi, my name is Axel Mejia-Juarez, and today I'll be singing Die Bildnis, bezaubernd schön, from Mozart's Die Zauberflöte. Diese Bildnis ist bezaubernd schön, wie noch ein Auge je gesehen. Ich fühl es, will es Grabarbeit, mein Herz mit neuer Regung füllt. Mein Herz mit neuer Ich würde sie wollen sinken an diesen heißen Rosen trinken. Und ewig war sie dann mein. Und ewig wäre sie dann mein. Und ewig wäre sie dann mein. Ewig wäre sie dann mein. Ewig wäre sie dann mein.
All right.
I'm sorry.
What opera was that last thing from? Very good. Very good. Bravo. Wonderful potential here. Wonderful potential. All right. I want to, again, get you to think a little bit more about your back, your torso, that way of breathing in that makes you a bit more grounded when you are going into the top of your voice. So let's go back to the beginning. And I want, well, first of all, before we do that, I just want you to silently practice breathing in as though you're breathing into your lower back, below your belt line, below your each hip. And when you get to a point where there's no more breath going in, see if you can feel your ears pop like they do when you're getting ready to yawn. And feel what happens also around the neck area. But take a nice slow breath in and use your imagination and feel what happens in your lower back. What do you feel, if anything?
I feel, you said lower back. I feel like a slight exposure before the lower back. I feel expansion right here.
Yeah. And what about below the belt line?
I feel like a release, like a slow, like
Yeah.
here.
And you'll feel it in the back and the front. But I want you to concentrate on what's happening in the back right now, because and feel do you feel a feeling of widening below your hips to make your lower back feel broader?
Mhm.
Was that a yes?
Yeah, I feel like a stretch, like a expansion.
Yes, yes, yes. So I want you to breathe in that way before you sing the first D's Bildnis.
Okay.
Ist. And give me a T. Ist bezaubernd schön, not ist bezaubernd schön, okay? So give yourself a chance and do it without, if you can remember the pitches, do it without the piano. We're going to do this as an exercise. Okay, good. So take your time to breathe in, don't rush until you feel that stretch. And then sing the first, Dies Bildnis ist bezaubernd schön.
Dies Bildnis ist bezaubernd schön.
Tell me about that. Did that feel any different than it did when you sang it? And tell me yes or no.
Yes, I just felt like I was more prepared for the phrase.
Right. And it's that kind of preparatory breath that we want to seek every time we get ready to launch a phrase. Now, you won't always have the time to breathe, that much time to breathe, but the more you train yourself that way, it'll become more rapid, that you'll get that feeling if your mind is concentrated on it. Do the same thing again.
Dies
Take your time. Take your time. Think about, okay, why was that not as good as, or what happened before?
I think I just rushed the breath.
Okay. Yeah, these are the questions you want to ask yourself every time you're working on something and it doesn't work. Ask yourself the question, okay, what did I do or what wasn't in place before you attempt to do it again? Now, that was a good assessment. If you rush the breath and you're not yet ready to be able to breathe it in quickly and get that response below, then you won't get the same result that you want. Once more.
Diese Bildnis ist bezaubernd schön.
Very nice. Very nice. I mean, that sounded. What would happen now when you sing the Bildnis if you release your jaw a little bit down and back? Dies Bildnis ist bezaubernd schön. Just a little bit. The human jaw, when it's released, releases down and back. Again, if you yawn, we don't yawn this way. We yawn and go down and back. It's a natural way. So in singing, we want it to do the natural thing as well. Once more. Take your time. Do not rush. And the introduction to this piece gives you all the time in the world for that nice, slow, into the lower back feeling breath.
Diese Bildnis ist bezaubernd schön.
Tell me about how that felt.
It felt, I'll say grounded, connected. It felt different.
Sorry?
It felt like more like a of Bildnis instead of these beats or Bildnis. It felt more tall. Say tall. Say tall.
Yes. I loved it. I mean, it rang, but it also had warmth. And in classical singing of this kind, this emotional, the ideal tone is chiaroscuro, a mixture of bright and dark. Now, when you did it before, it was very bright. Dies Bildnis, and it was, you didn't really create the space in the buccal cavity, the mouth. Dies Bildnis ist bezaubernd schön. This time you did, and it sounded like it was the easiest thing in the world, and it sounded like you were looking at a portrait of someone that has captured your heart just by looking at the portrait. It was a sound that had wonder in it. Wow. Whoa. By releasing your jaw just enough down and back to create more space in this cavity and being grounded first and foremost, you got a sound that was really, oh, wow. Once more.
Diese Bildnis ist bezaubernd schön.
Nice. Now, wait just a minute. Give me ist. There's no ist bezaubernd. Ist bezaubernd, not ist bezaubernd. So you may be doing the T, but it's not strongly enough projected that I can hear it.
Okay. Diese Bildnis ist bezaubernd schön.
Yeah. Just do this for me. Ist not so fast. Not so fast. You have the time to do that when you sing this aria. And the people in the back row of the auditorium will hear it over the orchestra. Once more.
Diese Bildnis bezaubernd schön.
Okay, we're getting there. That was closer. You will probably spit a lot until you can master this. Years ago, I was singing in Berlin, and we had a singer, a mezzo-soprano, come into the cast of Das Rheingold. She was German. And there is a technique that teaches people basically to spit when they're singing. And this woman put out a stream of spittle with everything she sang. I was happy that I was staged on the other side of the stage that I didn't get that bath. But take the chance on spitting a little bit. Ist bezaubernd until you get the taste of t t t t t. And when I do that, but the whole lower part of my body from the button on down responds. I'm not doing it, it responds. Ist bezaubernd schön. Once more. Diese
Bildnis ist bezaubernd schön.
Yes, absolutely. That was it. Now be careful that you don't sing. Dies Bildnis ist.
Okay. Diese Bildnis ist bezaubernd schön.
No. I didn't get the istbe. So it takes some work. Dies Bildnis ist bezaubernd. Dies Bildnis, not Bildnis ist. Dies Bildnis ist bezaubernd schön. Say it for me.
Die Bildnis ist bezaubernd schön.
I didn't hear the T of ist.
Die Bildnis ist bezaubernd schön.
Yes, do it again.
Die Bildnis ist bezaubernd schön.
Sing it on one pitch in rhythm.
Die Bildnis
Dies Bildnis ist bezaubernd schön.
Die Bildnis ist bezaubernd schön.
I heard ist bezaubernd, not ist bezaubernd.
Ist bezaubernd.
Ist bezaubernd.
Ist bezaubernd.
Give me a stronger T.
Ist bezaubernd.
Yes. Do you taste the difference in that?
It's more work
Yes.
that I need to do for that.
Yes. It's more work. Get used to doing the work because the Germans will kiss your feet when you've done the work. You're allowed to boo when you don't do the work. Once more.
Die Bildnis ist bezaubernd schön. Die Bildnis ist bezaubernd schön.
Also, you need to spend a lot of time just doing istbe, over and over and over again until it becomes second nature, right? And I mean, you'll be a wonderful Tamino, but the language has got to be deutlich, clear, clean, okay? Take the next phrase, and whenever you go into the top, release your jaw a little bit. Wie noch kein Auge je gesehen. Wie noch, please.
Wie noch kein Auge je gesehen.
Make sure I hear the end of the word noch before kein. Wie noch kein Auge. I take some break. I take a little time. Now, noch kein Auge. Wie noch kein Auge je gesehen. Wie
noch kein Auge je gesehen.
Do it that way until it becomes a little bit more finessed. But that was right. I would hear that in the audience, right?
Okay.
Breathe into your back and sing it again.
Wie noch kein Auge je gesehen.
I'll buy that. I'll buy that. Keep doing that. Go ahead and take the next phrase.
Ich will es.
Now, in German, you must re-attack every word that begins with a vowel. Not feel es, feel s. Feel s.
Will es.
Yes.
Ich will es.
No, Les is a guy that I was in the army with. Lester, Les. No, not feel less, feel s.
Will es.
Yeah.
Will
No.
es.
You're still tying the L to the next word. Don't tie the L to S. Feel S.
Will es.
Again.
Ich will es.
Yes, that is German.
Wow,
Is German.
yeah.
And go ahead. There's another one. Wie viel S.
Ich will es.
That was good. You saw do it again. Feel S.
Will es.
No, not feel S. Feel S.
Will es.
That's correct.
Okay.
Go to the next phrase. Breathe into your hips and wie dies Götterbild.
Wie dies Götterbild.
Not bad. Sort of went back, and it needs to have both back and frontal presence. Release your jaw down and back. That's a trick. Okay? Wie dies Götterbild. Wie
Wie dies Götterbild.
Yeah, that's getting closer. Yeah. And when the jaw releases properly, you're going to get more of the resonance into the nasal pharyngeal cavity. Again, we release the jaw down and back, like a yawn. You don't here. How do you yawn? When you
then
yawn
over-
properly, the cheekbones become more prominent. You know. Once more, wie dies Götterbild. Breathe into your back.
Wie dies Götterbild.
Okay, you got there. You got there. When you release your jaw, the sound, the vibrations, the sound resonates more this way. We want both front and back. And it's how we deal with the mandible to a great extent. Once more, V.
Wie.
Take your time. Don't rush. Don't jump back in the pool until you know there's water in it. Breathe into your back.
Wie dies Götterbild.
Good. Very good.
There, not get there. It's like it gets there, but I want to.
Well, yeah, I understand that. Yes, and I want it to be there too. But in order for it to get there each time, you got to spend hours doing just this. Like playing basketball. You can't sink a three-pointer until you have spent hours on the court practicing it.
We're probably going to have to move on
Okay.
to the next singer.
Wonderful time to be. Wonderful. Bravo.
All right, and now we have Kim.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Kim Nguyen, and I'll be singing Seufzer Tränen Kuma Not by J.S. Bach.
Okay. Beautiful. Lovely. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Again, I'm going to spend some time on the German, on the pronunciation. And there's some times when I think you could be a bit more grounded, but that's it's that's just a matter of we'll talk about it. But lovely. Okay, so this text, Seufzer, Tränen, Kummer, Not, they're all separated with commas. Now, we don't want to breathe after each one, but there's got to be some sense that there is not Seufzer, Tränen, Kummer, Not. It doesn't go on. Seufzer, Tränen, Kummer, Not. A sense of the separation of the commas. So let's go back, and when you get to, where is it? Oh yeah, Tränen, ängstlich sehnen. That's tricky because we need to hear the ending of the word ängstlich before we hear sehnen, right? So it ends in an S and the Z begins with a Z sound. Ängstlich sehnen, okay? Furcht und Tod. So just do the first, sometimes this gets stuck and I can't get down to the next page. Okay. And there's another place where you sort of run things. Actually, that's the one actually. Beklemmtes, oh yeah, beklemmtes Herz, not beklemmtes Herz. Beklemmtes Herz, right? So, okay, let's go back to the beginning. And I want you just to say the text for me. Okay.
Seufzer, Tränen, Kummer, Not.
Note. No, more of an O sound. Note, not not. Note, long. Note.
No.
Yeah. And lean on each one. Seufzer, Tränen, Kummer, Not.
Seufzer, Tränen, Kummer, Not.
Okay, go ahead to the next thing that you say.
Seufzer, Tränen, Kummer, Not. Seufzer, oh, it's hard to do, but just the lyrics.
Oh, wow. Now you touched on something. You've touched on something that every singer who's going to sing a song should do. You should first deal with the text. Write it down. Have you written the text down in a notebook?
A while ago, but
Okay. You need to use that book religiously to familiarize yourself with how you would say it to someone. To speak the text conversationally. Seufzer, Tränen, Kummer, Not. Tränen ängstlich sehnen. Furcht und Tod. To say it conversationally and then to say it in rhythm. Seufzer, Tränen, Kummer, Not. Seufzer, Tränen, ängstlich sehnen. Ängstlich sehnen. Furcht und Tod. To speak it. Speak it, speak it, speak it. So that the speaking, the correct speaking of the words can then carry over into the singing of those words, to the music, right? So you should also be able to give a translation of every word that you sing. Sighing, weeping, sorrow, what's note? Note is, what is note? Note is, what does note mean?
good question. All the words are now jumbling. Oops.
Need. So to say it in your language, to say it in English, sighs, tears, sorrow, need, sighs, Seufzer, tears, Tränen, sorrow, Kummer, need, Not, fear, Furcht, and death, und Tod, gnaw at my oppressed heart, nagen mein beklemmtes Herz. Bringing these things together so that you could stand up and say the translation, knowing exactly what it is that you're saying all the time when you're singing, right? You need to know what every word means when you're singing in the context. So let me hear you say it without the music. Say it, deliver this text, live it. Seufzer, Tränen, right now.
Seufzer, Tränen, Kummer, Not. Seufzer, Tränen, ängstlich sehnen, nagen mein beklemmtes Herz.
Okay, what's Herz?
Heart.
No. Herz,
Herz.
not hits. All right? Again, know the words that you need to elongate, lean on, because they're important. My heart, not my heart. My heart. Beklemmtes Herz, my heart. Take it from Furcht und Tod, fear and death gnaw at my oppressed heart. German.
Furcht und Tod.
No, it's too short. Tot. It's a long word. Even though it's 3 letters, it's a long word. Tod.
Tod.
Yeah. Furcht. The Furcht. Is it Furcht? Okay. Furcht und Tod. This is a lament. Furcht und Tod. Nagen mein beklemmtes Herz. And when you act it this way, then you're getting closer to what you must feel when you sing it. Take your time. From Furcht.
Furcht und Tod nagen mein beklemmtes Herz.
Very good. Much better. Did I ask someone else? What is your solar plexus?
My solar plexus is here at the down.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's that high. Right above your belly. Where you? Yes, it's behind that place.
Yes.
And what is it?
It's the place where your diaphragm.
Well, the diaphragm is attached to your sternum in front of your solar plexus. But what is a solar plexus?
Solar plexus. I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad you asked. It's a place where all the endings of all the nerve endings in your body come together. Some people call it a chakra. All right, it's where you feel things. You feel emotion. You feel pain. You feel fear. You feel butterflies. You feel. That's where all of your nerve endings are. And there is a nerve that comes out of it called the vagus nerve. V-A-G-U-S, not V-A-G-A-S, not Las Vegas, but vagus nerve. It comes out of that bundle of nerves and wraps around your heart. And more interestingly, is attached to your larynx, your throat. Oh my heavens. Mind to solar plexus, to heart, to throat. An avenue that we as performers need to be traveling consciously the whole time we're standing on stage and opening our mouths and letting sounds out that should communicate messages and feelings and emotions to the listener. So, being aware of that place where the diaphragm is attached, behind which is where you feel things. So when you read this text, I want you to place your finger on your solar, on your at your epigastrium, pointing to the place where your diaphragm is attached, behind which is your solar plexus. And I want you to say these words so that you feel it behind your finger.
Seufzer, Tränen, Kummer, Not. Seufzer, Tränen, ängstlich sehnen. Nagen mein beklemmtes Herz. Ich empfinde Jammerschmerz.
Jammer, Schmerz. Now, how much feeling were you speaking from? I love what was happening with the sound of your voice, but did you know what every one of those words meant when you said it?
I had general feeling,
Okay.
specific translation.
You can never sing in a generalized fashion. You must know what every word means before you let it out of your mouth. Otherwise, it can be a pretty sound, but it won't have the power of meaning that will touch the hearts of the audience. Because you're singing without meaning. You're singing words, you're singing notes, but what's the meaning of those words? Sighs, tears. I would say to you, Nguyen, Korean, have you ever made a translation of this into your own language, into Korean?
I am not Korean. I am
Oh, I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. What is your nationality?
Vietnamese.
Oh, Vietnamese. Okay, okay. Have you ever translated it into Vietnamese?
I haven't translated this song into Vietnamese because Vietnamese is more of like I'm not as familiar with it as I am with English.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. What I'm after is translating it into terms that fit into your soul. So that when you say Seufzer, you feel a sigh. Tears. Sorrow, you feel it in your gut. So that when you say these words, I'm going to get a sense of, oh boy, wow, she feels this. Not just pronouncing it clearly, not just singing it with a pretty, lovely tone, but, oh, this is so important that we know what every word means. And when we sing that word, we are transmitting to the audience its meaning, right? Before, at some point before we end the class, I'd like to just talk about, to everyone, what sound means, what sound is all about, what a noise is all about. Okay, so I would want you to, just as an actress on your own, we'll get back to the singing, but I want you to act this out. Seufzer, Tränen, Kummer, Not, and feel it behind your finger. Now, let's go back to the singing, and I want you to keep your finger there. I want you to sing as though you are attached to that place, that it comes from that place. It's the old thing of singing from the diaphragm. You can't sing from the diaphragm because there's no mouth down there, but you can be attached to it. Because behind your diaphragm, where it's attached, is where you feel things, your solar plexus. So better, I would say, sing from your solar plexus, because it is attached to your throat. Okay? Okay, can I stop you? So this is good. This is very good. So this piece is all about every time the voice goes up, it gets like a wail. And that, if it comes from mind to solar plexus, it makes sense to the body to support it. Now, I know we're getting ready to stop, but breathe into your, as I've been telling people, breathe as though you got two cups underneath each hip, and breathe into that so you feel your lower back below your belt line to feel like it widens. And then speak from your center, from that place, the solar plexus. Okay, lovely sound, lovely voice. Yes, there's some professional possibilities for you ahead, but anchor yourself and give us what you feel when you sing these words, right? Without that, we don't get the fullness of what the composer meant when placed these words and this music on the page. All right? I guess it's time. I see.
Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Thank you, Mr. Shirley, and all the singers. It's been an amazing morning, amazing session. Thank you all. So now we have a break until 12:45. The singers for the afternoon session, please report back here actually at 12:10 for a sound check, and everyone else can just take a break, eat your lunch, unless you would like to win 2 tickets to Tannhäuser with LA Opera. Then, if you want to do that and have a little fun, we're playing a game. It's called Kahoot, and I'll explain it to you if you come back here at 12:15. And you're going to need an extra device, like an extra phone or iPad at 12:15. Just and the rest of you we'll see at 12:45. And thank you again, Mr. Shirley. It's been just
My
fabulous.
pleasure. My
Okay,
pleasure. Look
we'll
forward
see
to
you
that.
all soon.